Don't read if you're not ready to face this truth. Today's episode will take the audience from one surprise to another. When the betrayal is exposed, when the lies can no longer be hidden, everything explodes in one moment. In the stifling atmosphere that covers every hidden corner of the town, where dark secrets still constantly creep through every look, every cautious breath, Vanessa begins to feel more clearly than ever that the truth is sometimes not only a guiding light but also an abyss that threatens to drown everything. She once believed that she was strong enough to face everything, once thought that justice was always right, that as long as she stood on the side of the truth, she would never be hurt. But all those beliefs began to collapse from the moment Joey tightened his cold gaze on her and let out a threat that shattered everything inside her. Joey didn't need to scream. Didn't need to be angry. It was the terrifying calmness with which he delivered his message that made Vanessa freeze in her veins. He didn't say much, but just a few short, deadly sentences were enough for Vanessa to understand that if she dared to speak of that terrible secret, the consequences would not stop at mental damage. He didn't just imply. He also affirmed that her survival was in his hands, a hand that had been stained with blood, that had extinguished life without fear. And now, she was the next target if she strayed from the limits he set. Vanessa trembled not only from fear but also from the feeling of helplessness that was overwhelming her entire mind. She knows full well that what she has discovered is the truth, a horrifying secret that, if brought to light, will change the entire landscape of the town, will expose the true face of Joey, who has long been so skillfully concealing his crimes under the perfect cover of a charming, successful, and respected man. But is that truth worth it? When she knows clearly, just a small mistake, her life will be just another name on the list of those who disappeared without a trace, like many others who have confronted Joey and then never returned. From the moment she realized that threat, Vanessa's life was no longer the same. Every step became cautious, every sound behind her startled her, every unknown number call made her heart beat faster. She began to live in constant fear, always looking back, as if Joey was always somewhere in the dark, just waiting for her to let her guard down so she could strike. It was no longer normal anxiety, but a fear that ate away at every thought, every breath, every dream that lasted forever. She didn't dare share it with anyone, because she understood that silence was the only thing that could protect her from the danger ahead. However, silence was also a form of torture. Vanessa felt like she was trapped in the maze of her own conscience, where every turn was a struggle between right and wrong, between justice and survival. She kept wondering, would anyone believe her? Would anyone be brave enough to stand by her side if the truth were revealed? Or would she become the next victim in the endless list of people who had been silenced by Joey? However, Vanessa did not know that from that moment of being threatened, her life had fallen into Joey's absolute control. He did not just threaten. He was always one step ahead. Her phone was monitored. Those closest to her began to receive hidden warnings in the form of unexpected accidents or unintentional visits from strangers. Joey knew how to sow fear without having to appear directly. He let Vanessa imagine the worst, and that was what gradually destroyed her. She lived like a shadow, avoiding other people's eyes, limiting all social interactions to the maximum, and even began to doubt her own relatives, afraid that anyone could be Joey's eyes. Every day that passed was a battle with herself. Vanessa felt like she was dying in silence, as the secret was like a malignant tumor deep in her mind, smoldering, aching, and waiting to explode. She had thought about leaving town, disappearing completely to escape Joey's mental terror. But every time she packed her bags, an urge kept stopping her, the desire to be protected by justice, to expose the truth without having to live like a hunted prey. Joey, meanwhile, did not stop. He knew Vanessa was torn, and he used that hesitation to consolidate his control. He did not need to do anything more, because Vanessa was trapped in a cage of fear he had created. He knew that his threat was enough to control her, not only for her own safety, but for the safety of those she loved. Joey always emphasized, though unspoken, that if Vanessa betrayed him, it would be not only her but other innocent people who would suffer the consequences. In the thick wall of silence, Vanessa began to turn to old memories to comfort herself. But everything was overshadowed by the darkness that enveloped the present. The peaceful moments she had now felt distant. She knew that if she did not act, she would never feel safe again. But if she acted wrongly, everything would collapse. She began to write everything down, as a form of self-protection, writing down the truth, keeping it in a safe place. In case something happened to her. It was all she could do now, prepare for the worst, while not yet being ready to face it. And like a never-ending nightmare, Vanessa continued to live on the thin line between truth and death, where an unrevealed secret had the power to control every beat of her heart. And she knew, if one day courage arose and overcame her fear, then that secret, the thing that was gripping her soul, would be the fire that lit up justice, or it could be the fuse that ended it all. But what no one expected was that everything was just beginning. One rainy night, as Vanessa quietly leaves town with her luggage hidden in the trunk of her car, an anonymous black envelope appears at her door. Inside is a photo taken from close range, of Vanessa talking to a man who was once Joey's enemy. That can only mean one thing. Joey knows everything. He's not only been following her, he's been thinking ahead of her. It's then that Vanessa realizes the horrifying truth: he was never afraid of her revealing her secret. Because he planned to erase her and bury all the evidence from the beginning. She doesn't have time. And when the alarm sounds from her car, which she didn't activate, she suddenly realizes that she may not live long enough to tell the truth. And that's just the beginning of the next tragedy that awaits. Who will be the next victim if Vanessa fails? Who is brave enough to step out of the shadows and confront Joey's dark forces? Will justice ever be revealed, or will all be buried with the silence of a cornered woman? Don't take your eyes off the chilling developments that follow, as the secrets yet to be revealed will cause everything to collapse. Stay tuned and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of the next shocking episodes. Everything you know may just be the tip of the iceberg. The horrifying truth is still waiting to be unearthed from beyond the gates.